Now let's talk about as far as when it comes to the Indian angle here is concerned. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar telling the Parliament yesterday in both houses when he gave a statement that protecting India's energy security and the interest of Indian consumers remains the government's top priority. Here's what he said.
Honorable Chairman, sir, in view of the implications of this conflict for our energy security, I also seek to address that particular concern. Government remains committed to ensuring that fully taking into account availability, costs and risks of the energy markets. For us, the interests of the Indian consumer has and will always be the overriding priority. Where required, Indian diplomacy has supported the endeavors of our energy enterprises in this volatile situation. Honorable Chairman, sir, let me conclude by highlighting the three guiding factors of our approach. 1. India is in favor of peace and urges a return to dialogue and diplomacy. We advocate de-escalation, restraint, and ensuring the safety of civilians. 2. The well-being and security of the Indian community in the region is our priority. We will continue to work with the governments of the region towards that end. And 3, our national interest, including energy security and trade flows, will always be paramount. I'm confident, sir, that the government has the full support of this august House on this matter.
Now, when it comes to the India factor, and should India now be concerned, because it seems that the Petroleum Ministry says that it has now set up a committee, especially when it comes to reviewing the LPG requirements of restaurants and automobiles and other sectors. Now, this panel is expected to examine the needs and also try to allocate limited LPG volumes wherever this is possible, because this is where the LPG demands are going to be assessed by the government. And the government, however, seems to be monitoring the situation very, very closely. As far as when it comes to the fallout is concerned, India, however, Pragya, good morning, seems to be in a stable position for now.
Absolutely, Amita, and this is assurance that has been given by government, and they are saying that our priority is the domestic consumers, and in fact there will be availability. It's just that the waiting period for an LPG cylinder has been moved from 21 days to 25 days, which is also not to spread panic, but this is also to rationalize the distribution of LPG gas. Apart from this, keeping the current geopolitical disruption that we are seeing right now in Middle East, the government has also sent a notice and directive to all the oil refineries to ensure that there is no constraint on supply of LPG. They have also asked them to ensure that the production will be only for the domestic LPG use. The ministry, in fact, is prioritizing the domestic LPG supply to households and introduce a 25-day booking period that I have already told you. As far as the restaurants and commercial use is concerned, the ministry also says that they are doing a reasonable balance between the domestic consumers and the commercial, but priority will always be the domestic consumers. Households should never run out of cylinder or LPG gas is what the ministry aspires to right now. And they are also saying that we are also looking at the world market to procure more LPG gas. Yes. So as far as LPG is concerned, the ministry says there is no need to spread panic at all. We are comfortable. We are procuring more LPG. We are rationalizing more LPG distribution within the domestic household and also in the industrial household.
So this has been said, with regards to concern that there is no black marketing or also hoarding that takes place, because the government sources say that petrol and diesel prices in India, however, will remain stable as well. And this is now coming across as far as the oil markets have been now jolted because of the Middle East situation. So when we take a look as far as, Pragya, initially during the days when the war started, there were long queues outside petrol stations and also at CNG pumps. Now it seems that when it comes to the government is concerned, they have been saying that there is ample as far as fuel is concerned, and even in the aviation sector that seems to have been hit because of the turbine fuel shortage.
Well, Amitabh, the government is saying right now that there is no concern of price rise as far as the retail outlets of pumps are concerned, as far as diesel and petrol are concerned. In fact, they are saying that we have enough of crude oil. We are getting replenishment at at definitive intervals as well. They have also started procuring from other countries. In fact, there are other countries, neighboring countries, that are also approaching India to procure more energy. So we are not just the importer, we are exporter also as far as, aviation and turbine fuel is concerned. But having said that, the government says that a pump price in India is unlikely to increase in foreseeable future. Obviously, it's an evolving situation and no one knows how US will react towards Iran, and when the markets had opened. What is the decision? Because Trump said that this is a very small price to pay. So we need to see how long this war and this, the standoff will go on.
Yes.
But in foreseeable future is what government is saying, that pump price in India is unlikely to increase, irrespective of the international market, and also.
So petrol and diesel prices to stay stable, aviation fuel to stay stable, as the government sources say that the oil marketing companies have also been directed to prioritize domestic household cooking gas supply amid the supply crunch. And we are also looking at the officials saying that the waiting period for LPG deliveries has now been extended from 15 days to 25 days in order to curb hoarding by consumers or black marketing. And this has been when it comes to the concern that has been raised by the hospitality sector that has been facing a severe crisis as commercial LPG cylinder shortages threatens to shut down several restaurants within days. However, there has been a clarification that has been issued. Meanwhile, amid the concerns over the possible shortage of LPG supplies, the government, however, has made it clear that domestic consumption is to be prioritized. Now, the Bengaluru Hotel Association that had previously claimed that hotels would remain shut until commercial LPG supply stabilizes, but the association has now clarified, saying that some of the hotels will continue to remain open. Now, taking stock of the situation, the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has also issued a directive when it comes to the oil refineries. Now, what we are getting to know as far as these developments are concerned, let's shift focus